Welcome back to New Little Life by Allison. I'm Allison, and I have a new breast pump to show you today. This is a pump from Imani. This is the Imani 1. You probably already know the Imani 2. So let's talk about where these pumps came from, what they're all about, and see if they'll work for you. You might be thinking, I've seen this Imani pump from Legendary Milk. Is this also a Legendary Milk pump? And the answer is no. Imani is not the Legendary Milk brand, just to clarify. So I believe when I'm filming this video, as far as I know, Legendary Milk is the distributor for this Imani 2. Imani is its own company though. There's an engineer that owns it and he decides who sells his pump, okay? The Imani 1 is kind of the workhorse tabletop pump from this company. I know as of right now, the only place I've seen that you can get them is through the Breastfeeding Shop, which is a DME company that I really enjoy. You can get this through insurance, which is why I'm really excited to show you a little bit about it today in case this is on your list and you're considering a pump like this. There may be available other places in the future, but I'll put a link down to the Breastfeeding Shop down below. So, Imani. I hope that clarifies where this brand is coming from. I actually think we're going to be seeing more from this brand because they make some really good stuff. So let's check out their pump. Okay, so there's some really cool features that I like about this pump, and there's also just a couple of cons that I'll tell you as well. But let's start with just kind of a general walkthrough and see what it's all about. So you can see that this pump is not a portable pump. It's not small. Actually, let me grab my Spectra and I'll compare it to that size-wise for you. Okay, so here's my Spectra and here's the Imani. All right. So they are a similar size. This one is a better shape. I like the way this looks. I like the roundness and just the shape. But the Imani one, I do like the squareness of it better. I think it will fit in a bag better and just lay a little flatter. So they're very similar size. This one does have the handle that comes up. It actually doesn't go down in the front to block your stuff, which is cool, I think. The light on this one is in the back, but it does have a little night light for your stand for you. This is a pretty standard setup here. You've got cycle speed adjustment on this side. You've got vacuum adjustment on this side. So the buttons are quite light. I can see them very clearly in person, but it might be difficult for you on video here. I might have to put a little photo up here for you so you can see the screen really clearly. So you can kind of see what buttons are there and what it does. But anyway, you've got cycle adjustment here, vacuum adjustment here. All right. You'll see that this pump does need to be plugged in while it's being used. You also have a timer in the front, which is really great. So it has the standard 2 modes. We'll start in massage mode. One thing I noticed when I was using this pump and playing with it is it is really quiet. This is probably one of the quieter, like bigger style pumps that I've played with. So I thought that was really cool. You have 2 cycle speed options when you're in massage mode. And you have 6 vacuum levels. Pause for a moment. A lot of stimulation modes or massage mode, those are the same thing. If you want more clarification on modes, cycle speeds, all that stuff, you can go watch this video up here, which is all about suction. But a lot of the time, the cycle speed is just set in a massage mode. So you actually have 2 different options for you here, which is cool. Just a little bit more to figure out which works best for you. A little bit faster, a little bit slower in that stimulation mode, which is cool. There's 6 vacuum levels in this one, but you can also hold the plus button and go into like a boost mode if you want extra suction. Seems like a lot of suction to me, but if that's something that you want, then go for it. And then it has expression mode. So this actually has 6 different cycle levels that you can choose from and 12 vacuum levels. So again, it just gives you more customization. You can really fine tune where you pump the most milk and go from there. You can also hold the plus button here and find the boost mode. I was able to get over 300 max suction on the boost mode, which is plenty of suction. Seriously, like that's a lot of suction. You're probably not going to need that much. The range on this pump was really nice though. Actually, I can get those numbers exactly for you here because I tested them. I actually have my little booby barometer out with me today. I was testing this pump and that new really cheap pump from Bella Baby, that wearable one. I was playing with that one today too. Okay, so the cycle range on this one was really good. I was able to get a max suction of 310 on that boost mode, which is a lot. Just the regular max suction was closer to 270, 280, which is plenty. And like, I think that's probably all you're gonna need. Let's look at the low end. I don't have the low end number for you, but this one does go plenty low. I do think that the range is big enough for what you're needing there. Okay. That's kind of it. It's a basic pump, but you actually do have a lot of settings, which is a pro in my opinion. I like pumps that you can adjust and find what works for you. But when they have a bunch of fluffy extra stuff, extra crazy modes, different patterns, sometimes it can be overwhelming for the user. So especially if you're a first-time mom or if you have never pumped before, or you just want a really solid workhorse pump that's not confusing, but still has some options for you, I do think this would be a good option because it is simple, but it has the customization that's there. Does that make sense? It's easy. All the buttons are labeled, so you don't even have to remember what they're doing. Let's see if I turn it off, if it will start where I left off. Yeah, it'll start on the settings you ended on last. So if you find your perfect setting, you can just leave it there and toggle back and forth. All right. So let's talk about the pros and cons to this pump real quick as kind of a wrap up so you can see if it's the right pump for you. The pros, it is very quiet. I would say it's one of the more quiet pumps I've seen. The LV is the quietest pump I've ever played with. This is up there with that though. It is quiet. Ooh, this is a pro and I haven't even showed you this yet. This is the flange that it comes with. It has a really modern looking design. It doesn't look babyish. It looks very modern. You'll notice that Imani has these like red orange parts in it, which is a unique feature of their brand. It makes it easy to spot for me. But what I like about this is they've put the backflow protector and stuff like that. It is a closed system. Okay. It's got your standard backflow protector and stuff up there. It's all in a line. So this is really sturdy on a desk. It's not going to like tip over. Some of the other ones that have, okay, so here's a classic Spectra. It's just a little wobbly, okay? But you can see in this one, they've stacked it all on top of each other, which is actually, more people need to start doing that, okay? This comes with a 24 and a 28 millimeter flange, I believe it was. Again, on the pro list there's a many cycle and vacuum speed combos. So you can really find what works for you. You have 2 different cycle speeds on the stimulation mode, the first mode that we're pumping in, which is unique. I don't see that very often on pumps. That's really cool. 12 different vacuum levels on expression mode, which again helps you fine tune what works best for you. When you have less, even if the suction's there, you can't sometimes find that sweet spot that works. So I like it when there's a variety of levels for you to choose from, okay? The cons of this pump. The biggest con for me is that you have to plug it in. It doesn't have a battery. So not a huge deal, but if you need something that has a battery that you don't have to sit next to an outlet, this one does have to be plugged in. But again, may not be a big deal. Another con on my list is it only has 1 port here. It does do double pumping, of course, because every pump does that, right? But it uses this Y tubing. Now, I mean, this doesn't have to be on a cons list, I guess. So you'll plug this side into the pump and then you can double pump with these ones right here. If you're single pumping, you'll need to close up the loop and pump like this. I also found that I got a little bit better suction if I just took the whole Y connector off in the first place and just hooked it straight to the pump. So you can do that. I prefer the pumps that have the 2 ports just because I think it's less suction that's lost than when it comes through a Y connector, but that might be totally in my head as well. So maybe that doesn't even belong on the cons list. I don't know. But it does have that Y connector. Just if you're single pumping, just plug it straight in the pump. Don't do the Y loop. I don't like that. Okay. And then my last con really is that it's a little bulky, but so are all of these other pumps that you're putting on your desk, these workhorse big pumps. And in fact, it's not really any bigger than, like I showed you, the Spectra. In fact, the shape might even be better. It is designed really well though. It's not heavy, but it's like the good product heavy. Does that make sense? When you have a cheap product and you're like, this is light and it feels like it's going to break, This is not that. This feels like a very sturdy pump. Like it will just feel like it's going to work. And I do think it's going to work. Okay. So if this is an option through your insurance company, especially if it's cheaper or less expensive than like a Spectra or something like that, I think it's very comparable. So don't shy away from it just because it's new. I think it's a nice option. It is FDA approved, which is awesome. And you'll see that also with the Imani 2. There's other pumps that look like this that are not FDA approved, or that they started selling them before they got their FDA approval. I don't even think it's called approval anymore. I think it's called license. I don't remember. But Imani goes through the effort to do that, which in my opinion is worth something. There's a 2-year warranty on this big pump, and yeah, it's widely available in the USA. So that's awesome. Some of these pumps, like we find sometimes awesome pumps that are only available overseas, or they start over there and it takes a while to come over here, but you can get this. So I'll put some links down below for you about this pump, but honestly, I don't really have much bad to say about this pump. I wish I had a battery, but other than that, I think it's a fine option. So if it's on your insurance list, go for it, in my opinion. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you want more information on how to pump and how to go back to work and all that stuff, you can check out our Pumping for Working Moms program, which is down below. I'd love to chat with you about it. But otherwise, we'll see you on the next video. Bye.